Ladies and gentlemen, it's Max with the Movie Stand at night at the 2019 Horror Fest. And let us introduce you.
Hello, my name is Drew Henriksen, and my screenplay, Saint Dementia, is up for Best Screenplay.
Wow, nice work, Drew. So tell us, what was your favorite moment about filming this film?
It's not a film yet, it's a screenplay. I entered the screenwriting contest.
Yes, but do share, what's your favorite part, if you can share it?
Well, it takes place in an abandoned psychiatric center. So researching went on in these old insane asylums for almost a century. They opened up at the turn of the century, and they were open up until the 1960s when it was deemed illegal to have the patients doing manual labor. So they would just drug these people. And eventually they formed group homes and they took them out of the psychiatric center. But they were basically abandoned mini cities where all these forgotten people were placed and their families forgot about them. And, there's stories of, medical experiments being done on these people because they're not going to complain. But doing the research, so writing some of the scenes and some of the depths of the mental asylum is...
Right. Because a lot of horror comes from those places because this stuff's real, folks. This stuff actually happened. So, it also gives a lot of closure to the people who may have experienced that.
Oh, yeah, and you just wonder what happened in the past. How many forgotten souls lived and died in these places that nobody knows about? And what happened to them? Many of the employees were very, very good people. They were caregivers. But unfortunately, you hear stories of abuse and what went on and what was their background. A lot of times, wealthy people who would have a child out of wedlock, and there would be nothing wrong with the child, and they would put them in a mental asylum and forget about them. And diseases, gangrene was prevalent in the day because the mentally challenged, they would not complain that they were in pain or anything.
That's really scary.
So now imagine a group of young friends spending a night in this place.
Oh.
So amongst all the clutter, and what if something was still in the hospital?
God.
And that is Saint Dementia.
I'm loving the sound of it so far.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. It shows a part of our history as well as providing kind of a real scope to this horror. This is something that happened, so it only makes it even more terrifying, yeah?
And, it's about consequences. The sins of the past don't always go away, and they literally can come back to haunt you. Pun intended, by the way.
I like that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes. So, do you have any social media you go under?
Yes, I am on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm Drew Henriksen.
Yeah, nice card.
Why, thank you.
Why, thank you, too.
Thank you. And you might want to read my novels. I have a whole trilogy of sci-fi fantasy novels out. Dragons and Wolves, The Dragon and the Detective, and Dragons and Science.
Nice. Gotta have dragons. Dragons are awesome.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So it's a pleasure having you.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Yes. Have a good night, guys. Max from the Movie Stand with Drew Henriksen.